So, how much time do recreational trail riders spend on the trail? And how much trail does a rider need? Of course, that depends to some degree on the terrain and how well trail design has been used to increase saddle time. In general, motorcycle trail riders will ride from around 30 miles in a day for a beginning rider to as much as 80 miles or more for the more advanced. ATV riders generally cover from 20 to 60 miles. Full-size 4x4 drivers can cover as few as 1 to 5 miles in the most challenging terrain, or several miles for those who just want a leisurely ride through the forest. Even though off-highway motorcycle riders may want to ride 80 or more miles per day, that doesn't necessarily mean the entire route needs to be single-track trail. The ride could be made up of a combination of 4x4, ATV, and single-track trails while still meeting the rider's expectation, as long as a good portion of the trail offers the high-quality, narrow trail experience prized by riders. ATV rides can include both 4x4 and ATV trails. Family groups often enjoy several types of OHVs and may include several vehicle types on the same ride. On these rides, the family will usually stick together and ride only the trails that allow the use of the largest vehicle in the group. Beyond the trail system, riders also need a few other things. Quality maps and signs are an essential part of riding. The overwhelming majority of riders want to ride legally and want to make the right choices. Good maps and informative, easy-to-understand signs make that possible. Camping areas, parking spots, picnic tables, shade structures, and restroom facilities are also important to riders. With more families at staging areas, the need for bathrooms has become more of a priority in the past few years. Riders also appreciate fresh water where it's available. Interpretation of historic sites can also add enjoyment to an OHV ride, and unique natural features can be explained, adding time and enjoyment to the ride. For example, ringing rocks in Montana is unique because the rocks ring like bells when they're struck with stones or hammers. The sign at the area explains how the feature was formed, and also explains that the rocks won't ring if they're moved. The site is a very popular stop on trail rides, but without the simple interpretive sign, it would just look like another pile of boulders. As was mentioned earlier, there are other OHV users to consider. Not all uses can be allowed in all areas, but in many cases it's entirely possible to accommodate these riders in a sustainable manner, and such provisions will limit the use on your trail system to those for whom the system was designed. This in turn provides improved resource protection and trail sustainability. There are some riders who like to ride in small, challenging areas like gravel pits or quarries. In many cases, clearly defined play areas can be developed for this use. Dune riding is another very popular activity that does not rely on a trail system. 4x4 rock crawling is a competitive sport that takes place on fairly small areas that include lots of rocks, ledges, and rugged terrain. While it's not a trail-based activity, it can be controlled effectively when it's directed to areas where impact can be minimized. Motorcycle trials riding is another form of competition that is not based on a trail system. The object of the sport is to ride over difficult terrain and objects without putting your foot down or going out of bounds. Trials riding is a very low-impact sport that relies on areas beyond trails. There are also competitive events like cross-country, enduro, and hare and hound racing. These events rely on trail systems, but in spite of their names, no travel off-trail is allowed during these events. Remember, you can create a trail system that provides a challenging and fun experience and a sustainable, enjoyable environment. The result will be a manageable riding location with a great reputation. Good luck and good riding.